Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome you to our new Performing Arts Center. Take a few moments to recognize some folks that have made this night a special occasion for all of us. Certainly would like to recommend that you gentlemen take your jackets off. Get comfortable if you'd like to. We tried to cooperate with Mother Nature, and she dialed up some heat, a lot of rain this week. And I have to apologize, we didn't get everything quite ready, the landscaping and some of the other things around, but we'll get it in the next couple of months. But I hope you'll enjoy the show. First of all, we'd like to certainly dedicate this new facility, the Ellis Performing Arts Center. And we do that tonight by way of this inaugural show. And I certainly would like to recognize the Ellis family that is here that's made this night responsible, and also recognize the Rice family. This used to be the Eddie Rice Gym, a long way from a 1954 gym, I think. I think most of you would agree. And you are sitting in the new dedicated Rice Auditorium, dedicated not only to Eddie Rice, but to Dolly Rice and the Rice family for everything they've done for the community of Latta. So if you would please join me as the Ellis and Rice families rise. Let's give them a nice round of applause for our family. Please stand up. And of course, a special thank you to Fred and Bonnie. Second, I would like to recognize our foundation president, Glenn Green, and our foundation secretary, Harold Kornblue. The foundation actually owns this facility, and without the establishment of the foundation, we would not be here tonight. So Glenn and Harold, and also would like to recognize our school board chair, Betty Jo Johnson, who is also a foundation member, and Linda James, another one of our board members. If you folks would please stand so we could recognize you. And this facility would not be here without an architect and a contractor. So if architect Danny Shelley, or actually Debbie Shelley, told you I'd get you, Danny, and his staff, Nietta and Carol, and our contractor, Jeff Pascal, and his wife, would you please stand so we could recognize you? And the great sound system that we have, Joey O'Neill and Richard Herring in the booth there. Can you put the camera on yourself, guys? They've been working really hard to get this thing ready for tonight. And our artists, Linda and Alan Sloan, who did our donor wall outside, along with our program artist, our IB student, Lily Carter, who did the design on the front of your program, and Mayor Nancy Brigman, representing the town staff that worked with us an awful lot to make this happen tonight. If you folks would please rise so we can recognize you. And then there's some special people on my staff to wrap this up. Rose Howell, Donna Taylor, Larry Leggett, who's still working. He's over there now. We were laying bricks just a little while ago trying to get them right. Robert McIntyre and the technology staff with Laura Rowell and Jim O'Hearn. And Lee Sloan, George Libenrud, Barbara McLean, and my wife Vicki. If you folks would stand so we could recognize our school staff that did some extra help on this facility. And the last group I'd like to recognize that are not here, the Griffeys, who helped us with the reception, and Cindy Leggett, who will be coming out in a few minutes, and the singers, Johnny Lures, and Eleanor Breeden-Powers. And at this time, I tip my hat to everyone, all of you donors. Thank you so much. We're about halfway through with our donations, and we're going to get there the rest of the way over the next of the year. So I would encourage you to talk to your friends and other family members about participating and joining us in this worthwhile project. So with no further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Eleanor Powers to introduce our show. Eleanor is our new director of the Ellis Performing Arts Center. Eleanor?
Thank you, Dr. Kirby, and it is a pleasure to see all of you here today. It's a pleasure to look at the faces of our generous donors and the faces of our gracious guests tonight, and also the faces of the community who has supported us greatly. But we have one really happy face, and that's the face of the man who dared to dream the dream. And that's Dr. John Kirby and his chief supporter, his wife Vicki Kirby. I know he already introduced her, but I wanted to mention that. We are indeed fortunate to have Director Cindy Leggett and the 30 members of the Latta Community Singers to do our program tonight, our first program, and it is very fitting that Cindy has chosen the theme home for this show. So, to all of those of you who have traveled from a far distance, and to those of you who are at home now, please sit back and relax with me and let's enjoy the Latta Community Singers and the memories of home. Thank you.
As Eleanor said, the theme of our concert is home. A dictionary definition of home is the place in which one's domestic affections are centered. We all have our present home that we live in, and that is where our domestic affections are centered. We all have a past home, and that is usually a geological area in which we grew up or feel that we belong. For some of us, that past home is still a physical home that we can visit. For others, home is just a memory. When we speak of home, we all know the special feelings we have about the place where we have always been the safest and the most comfortable, whether it be our present home or our past home. Oliver Wendell Holmes gives a beautiful description of home in his poem, Home. Where we love is home, home that our feet may leave, but not our hearts. The chain may lengthen, but it never parts. Our concert begins with songs about home here on earth. As the concert progresses, we will sing songs about a future home, our eternal home. Our first song is Home is Where the Heart Is, and this is a new composition written by Carl Stroman. It's a very simple song that tells about a light in the window which guides us and calls us home. The light is symbolic of a warm and welcoming spirit in the home. next song is Deo. The song was originally a Jamaican folk song. Its popular version was adapted by Barbadian Irving Berge. It was thought to be sung by Jamaican banana workers with a repeated melody and refrain or a call and response, using many different sets of lyrics, some possibly improvised on the spot. The refrain and theme of the song is "Daylight come and me one go home." In 1955, singer-songwriters Irving Berge and William Attaway wrote a version of the lyrics for the Colgate Comedy Hour, in which the song was performed by Harry Belafonte. This is the version that is by far the best known to listeners today, as it reached number 5 on the Billboard charts in 1957 and later became Belafonte's signature song, Deo. Our next song is Bill Bailey, Won't You Please Come Home. Its words and music were written by an American songwriter and pianist, Huey Cannon, who lived from 1877 to 1912. It's still a standard with Dixieland and traditional jazz bands. This was Cannon's best-known composition. He wrote this ragtime song at the age of 16, and it was published in 1902. The song has been covered many times since by a wide range of singers, including Louis Armstrong, Ella Fitzgerald, Pearl Bailey, and Bobby Darin. Another of the author's long-lasting hits is Frankie and Johnny, which was published in 1904. Not long before his death, Cannon told a Detroit newspaper that he sold off the rights to most of his songs. He died penniless at the age of 35. The lyrics are about Bill Bailey's woman who threw him out and then begged him to come home.
Won't you, Bill Bailey, come home? Won't you, Bill Bailey, come? Bill, please come home. Won't you, Bill, please come home. Won't you, Bill, please come home. 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 I know I'm done. Bill, please come home. Bill Bailey, come. Bill, please come home. Bill, please come home. With nothing but a void to call. Bill, please come home. You know I ain't right. Now ain't that a shame? Bill Bailey, won't you please come home? Won't you, Bill Bailey? Won't you come home? Won't you come home, Bill Bailey? Please come home. I'm on the whole night long, the whole night long. Won't you come home? Won't you come home? Bill Bailey, please come home. I'll do the cooking, I'll pay the rent. Wow. Won't you please come home? Please. Won't you come home? Remember that rainy evening I threw you out with nothing but a fine-tooth comb, Billy. I know that I'm to blame. Ain't it a crying shame? Bill Bailey, won't you please come home? Won't you, Bill Bailey, come home? Won't you, Bill Bailey, come? Bill, please come home. 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 I know I'm done. Bill, please come home. Bill Bailey, come. Bill, please come home. Bill, please come home. With nothing but a void to call. Bill, please come home. You know Bill Bailey, won't you come home? Now ain't Bill Bailey, won't you come home? Bill Bailey, please come home. Won't you, Bill Bailey? Bill Bailey, please come home. Won't you, Bill Bailey? Bill Bailey, please come home. Bill Bailey, won't you please come home? Won't you, Bill Bailey, please come home? Please come home.
And the next piece is the Dover Cliffs. The White Cliffs of Dover, which everybody has heard of, are cliffs which form part of the English coastline facing France. The cliffs have great symbolic value in Britain because they face towards continental Europe across the narrowest part of the English Channel, where invasions have historically threatened and against which the cliffs form a symbolic guard. Because crossing at Dover was the primary route to the continent before the advent of air travel, The white line of cliffs also formed the first or last sight of the United Kingdom for travelers. We all have our Dover cliffs, that first and last sight of home that we love, or something that symbolizes home. The lyrics of this song tell of a yearning for home, and the words are, "Beyond these cliffs your heart is blue, the Dover cliffs do beckon thee. My heart does yearn for home once more." Next we have, well, we're getting instruments set up, so that's, all right. Daddy Sang Bass. Daddy Sang Bass was written by Carl Perkins with lines from the chorus of Will the Circle Be Unbroken, and it was recorded by Johnny Cash. According to Johnny Cash's book, The Man in Black, Carl Perkins spent a lot of time on the road with Johnny Cash, and they both had addiction problems. Cash recovered and was able to help Carl Perkins. Perkins wrote the song Daddy Sang Bass in 1967. The line, "Me and little brother would join right in there," was written about Johnny Cash's brother Jack, who died when they were both boys. The lyrics of this song transport us from a past time when Cash's family sang together to a longing for a future time when the family circle would be rejoined at the throne.